Good evening. I'm Nico van der Merwe. I'm from SFC Tactical Solutions. We are in South Africa and our hometown is Oudtshoorn in the lovely Garden Route. I quickly want to take some of your time and thank you very much for the opportunity. Please listen to what I'm saying because I think this is a really great message of hope for everybody outside in South Africa, especially the young guys, right? First of all, scholars and students currently studying or planning on to study someday within the near future, I want you to listen very, very attentively now. Within the South Africa, we are about 56 million in population. Of that 56 million people, 6 million are paying taxes. Right. For argument's sake, let's say this is 10% of our population is paying taxes. The other 90% are either unemployed or they are earning below the scale where you need to pay taxes. In other words, some of them are poor, very poor, and some of them a lot and are unemployed. Right. So, in other words, if you want to be an achiever, you must be able to pay taxes. Now, maybe you have never thought about this before. I'm going to explain to you why I'm saying what I'm saying. You need to be an achiever and you must say thank you that I'm paying taxes. Why? Because if you are not in the top 10% of your class, doing at the top 10%, the best of the class, you're never going to be in a position to pay taxes. Right, so think about that. This is my reasoning. I want to explain to you a few things. Today I heard that Cape Town is going to privatize the electricity supply. Now, for the guys in outside of South Africa, overseas, I want to explain to you, we have a company in South Africa called Eskom. Now, Eskom is state funded, state controlled, within the government is controlling this company, and there's a lot of corruption and mismanagement in Eskom. And this provided that we are having a situation called load shedding in South Africa. Load shedding means that at a certain time and place in South Africa, everybody's going to have a shift of having no electricity at all. That's what we call load shedding. For instance, today in our town, from 12 o'clock until 2:30, that's 14:30, we had no power, nothing at all. If this situation will play off in the evening where it's dark, there will be no power in our town, nothing at all. Now, taking in consideration that it's called load shedding. For instance, the city of Johannesburg will have load shedding, for instance, from 10 o'clock in the morning up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we sitting here in the southern part of South Africa will have load shedding, for instance, from tonight 8 o'clock, 2000 until 2300. That's how it works. Sometimes you go to a level 2, level 3, level 4. Then you're probably going to have 2 occasions per day where you are going to be out of power, electricity power, for 3 hours on a shift. So it's very possible to go through in your day without 9 hours of power within the 24 hours. That's what we call load shedding. All right. What went private already in South Africa? To prove my point. First one, medical care. Medical care in South Africa is free. That means if you are earning below a certain scale of income, medical care will be provided to you for free. If you want the best medical care, you need to go to a private medical institution in South Africa to get operations, specialists, and so on and so on and so on. So, in all other words, If you want the best medical care in South Africa, you need to pay that. You are going to pay for that. Next thing, education. Education went private. You are entitled to free education in South Africa. But please remember, what you pay is what you get. So if you are not willing to pay for education, then you must settle for below average standard of education. Okay. Remember my argument regarding the top 10%. If you want to be an achiever, you need to perform in the top 10% of your class or age category within South Africa. Right. Let's go on. Next function that went private, telecommunications. Guys, the telecom guys, we are struggling with them. Okay. Next one, postal and courier services went private as well. Our postal service in South Africa is in such a depth that they need about 150 years to recover at the rate they are performing now. So I'm not going to see that in my lifetime. Next one, security services. Security is the occupation that has the biggest growth in South Africa. Crime pays. They say crime pays. Crime doesn't pay. I will tell you crime pays. Listen, the last one I want to explain to you that already went private, the certain functions of the military and the law enforcement. Functions such as the finance department, the catering, the technical services. We have, at certain times, we have Cubans that does contract work. They come from overseas to come and fix our trucks. I'm not really understanding why. But anyway, what is going to go private next? We already mentioned the electricity supply, because the local guys doing the electricity for South Africa is having troubles. They are in financial horrible state. That's why we are having load shedding, because they cannot manage the resources. Our electricity costs are very high, very high, very high. So electricity is going to go first, privatization. Next one, water, sanitation and management. If you cannot manage the resources, then you need to get somebody that can do that. And unfortunately, the people that can do that are the top 10% of achievers. Remember that. Next one, sewerage management. The above three boils down to the incompetence of local government institutions, municipalities that cannot maintain electricity, water, sanitation and sewerage supply. Take note, the provinces that does well and are leading the front in moving forward to better the current situation are the provinces that are led by the opposition political party to the government. Very interesting. Okay. Last one that's going to private, the military. The military, why? Yes, the military. Examples are well documented of military personnel going private with enormous success. Right, ever heard of executive outcomes? Executive outcomes were, say it as you want, a private owned company that will render their professional service to a government that cannot fight their enemies. So if the military is not strong enough to fight the rebels, they will get a private company to come and help them. Companies to the example of executive outcomes. Let's go forward. Next one, examples of military services that went private. Private military contractors, PMC. Many of my friends left the military, the law enforcement, the police agencies, and went to Iraq and Afghanistan to provide their services for better pay, and in return they are called private military contractors because they are rendering a service, right? Very interesting because uh, the security situation in Iraq and Afghanistan, just to mention two countries in the world, stayed above the level of acceptance for very long. And that was due to private military contractors doing their job, what they were trained for. Yeah, with PMCs, and some of you know them. Some of them are brothers to me. Okay, think about that. And then there are companies like SFC Tactical Solutions, companies that has instructors of the caliber of myself and my fellow instructors at a privately owned company that is providing internationally on par training to civilian people to be able to defend themselves against the crime that cannot be controlled by the government. I hope you understand what I'm saying now. So I'm using my skills as a soldier to provide that to a civilian person to be able to place him in a position where he can defend his own life against the criminals. The criminals that cannot be contained and controlled by the government. Yes. Last thing I want to explain to you is nationalization. If you ever heard about nationalization. Now, the government is full of a lot of corrupt people. The government is ruled by frauds. Nationalization will never work. We have shown that in the past. If the government nationalize all the private owned companies, they are going to slit their own throats, as well as the legacy they leave behind. Cutting down on the 10% that is keeping the government in place is like financial suicide. Okay, I want you to think about this. I hope this is a message for hope for you. Tonight I'm going down on my knees and I'm going to say thank you, Lord, for placing me in a situation where I am able to pay tax. Because if I was in a situation where I cannot afford tax, then I should have been very poor or unemployed. That's a reason for me to say thank you. I hope this is a message for hope for you as well. Thinking about all these things gave me some hope, and especially the young guys out there that needs to place themselves within South Africa regarding the future. I'm going nowhere. I'm telling you this. I must provide a future for my children. The only way I can do that is working 18 hours straight in a day. I'm doing two jobs, running one or two or three companies, doesn't matter. Doing the best that I can do and stay within the top 10% of achievers in this country. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.